So if you're anything like me, when you have an emotion come up that feels intense, you don't like it, it's met with this resistance. We don't want to feel it, we want to push it away, distract ourselves from it. And that is how most of us have been actually dealing with our internal environment for most of our lives. But when we're young, we're actually just really naturally allowing whatever emotional experience we have to come and move through us. And then as we get older, we kind of learn not to do that. We learn to shut it down. But what I've personally been realizing through my own journey and healing journey is that these emotions that come up, they don't actually go anywhere when we push them away. They momentarily are out of our awareness, but they stay within us. And so it's why when you're feeling a lot of these emotions that come up, they're familiar to you. They're old. You felt them before. And so now, though, we can start to get to a place where if we can understand these emotions a little differently, that they're not actually an indication that something is necessarily wrong or that we're unsafe, which is what our mind will tell us, but that it's just this energy that's actually coming up to kind of be experienced and to move through us, that we don't have to fear that these emotions can't actually hurt us. Not really. They can't actually really hurt us. They feel uncomfortable, and the mind will tell a story about them. But when the mind is clear, and if you're just actually sitting with the experience of the feeling, you'll notice that it's safe, that it's okay. And so the healing process is really about allowing these emotions to be met and seen and felt and experienced in a loving, accepting capacity. And now that might feel difficult to do from the mind, saying, well, if I'm not loving to myself, I don't think I can, love these hard emotions. But what I would say to that is that our essence, who we really are, is actually the essence of love. So by us just allowing ourselves to the best of our ability to be with this experience, it is being met with love. Because by simply being open, just a little bit more open than we were before, is actually a loving act. So you don't even need to try to be loving, you just are. The moment you just have a little bit of an ability to say, I'm going to just meet this feeling a little bit more. Now, that can be really scary, and it can feel really difficult if you're not used to doing it. And especially if you're just used to pushing these emotions away for your entire life. But with practice and with meeting them again and again, it becomes a little easier to do, and we become less scared of doing it because we see that as it moves through, we are okay and that we made it through. And really, we always can make it through. So it can be really helpful, though, to when you're, first doing this, or if there's really strong emotions, to do this in a guided space. Sometimes it can be hard to do it on your own. So that's why in this little video, I'm going to do a small guided feeling exercise to help you to be able to meet these feelings a little bit more easily, and to get that experience of what it's like. So for this feeling exercise, what I recommend usually is that, we start with something that's a little bit smaller, like an irritation or a frustration, something that doesn't feel incredibly overwhelming. And at the same time, if there's just something up for you right now on the surface, that's okay. So normally what I would say is that whatever emotion is up on the surface, whatever we're experiencing, is the one that's coming up to be felt. So we don't need to go digging for the emotions. Life just kind of happens, and then these emotions come up, and that's there. But just for this purposes, if there's something that just feels a little frustrating, or something you've been thinking about, you've been annoyed by this thing, or you're a little worried about this thing, you can kind of bring that to mind and just notice if that feeling shows up. So let's start with that. All right, so we're gonna do this for about 5 minutes. So, or less, I'm not sure, but let's say about 5 minutes. So just get yourself seated and a little bit more comfortable. And we're gonna begin by closing our eyes. So you can start with, I like to start with a breathing exercise. So if you have any congestion in the sinuses, breathe through the mouth, but otherwise just follow my breathing cues. So we'll just take a slow, deep inhale through the nose, and then a long, slow exhale through the mouth. So let's do that again. A slow inhale, slow it down a little bit more. And then see if you can lengthen the exhale. And do that one more time. Inhale. And slow exhale. And so if you notice that there's a feeling that's present, just see if you can name that feeling, whatever it is. Is it fear, worry, sadness, loneliness? And you don't have to worry about being specific about it, but just get a general sense for what the feeling is. And if that feeling's not present at this moment, just think of something you've been worrying about, and that will probably bring up a feeling. So just identify really generally what that feeling is, and then next, notice where you feel it in your body. So do you feel a sensation in your stomach? Does it feel like a knot in your stomach or a pit? Maybe it's in your chest. Do you feel a heaviness or a tightness or a fast energy? You could feel something in your throat. Maybe it's a constriction or like a ball in your throat. You might feel something in your head, like a pressure. So whatever it is that you're feeling, just bring the awareness to the part or parts of your body that you notice it. And as you hold your attention on these areas, just take some slow and steady breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. And now see if you can bring a little bit of relaxation to your physical body. So imagine as if your muscles will just relaxing a little bit more. So slow and steady with the breath, just hold your awareness on those sensations. And now, to the best of your ability, can you allow whatever you're feeling to be there as it is, without trying to change it, push it away? And if you notice that there is a resistance to it, you don't want that to be there, can you allow that resistance to be there? Can you just feel into that resistance? Could you just welcome whatever a sensation or emotion that is there to be there, just as it is? Just continuing to breathe slow and steady breaths and relaxing the physical body. What if you could see those emotions, those sensations as this little part of you that is just looking for attention. It's just looking to be accepted, looking to be seen. It's like this little emotion coming in saying, is it okay can I just be here as I am? Is that okay just for now? Like, instead of being pushed away, can I just come and be here as I am? And just see if you can allow that emotion to just have its life. And just keep breathing, relaxing the body. And you might notice that you've felt a lessening of the intensity of the emotion. But sometimes there can be a different emotion that comes up behind it. And if that's the case, can you do your best to just allow that emotion to be there? Imagining that one's just coming up to be seen, to be felt, to be experienced, to just be allowed to be there as it is. And just notice how, while the emotion may have an energy to it, you're okay. It's an energy, it's a sensation. You can breathe. Your feet, if you're sitting down, are they on the floor? You're safe wherever you're seated. And just notice if through the invitation to welcome and allow, that sort of opens space for that emotion and that energy to move through. So you can take as much time as you need to just sit with that, to just allow, relax, welcome, be with that experience. Otherwise, you can start to deepen your breath. And then when you're ready, you can just start to open your eyes again. So I'm curious what your experience was like. Did that feel different than maybe you thought it would? Did it feel a little less scary once you actually move past that first initial, that like kind of almost, it's like there's this door that's closed, but then you open the door and the energy moves? How did that feel? Was it different? Was it surprising? So that is what can happen when we actually start welcoming and allowing emotions instead of resisting them. But like I said, that takes time, especially if we're new to it. So start small. And if it's a really big, overwhelming emotion that comes with a lot of images or memories, that's best held in a safe space with a therapist or somebody who can hold that space for you if it's something that's really overwhelming. So I share this too because when we're doing body acceptance work, this is what we're really working with here, is what's happening in the mind and what's happening in the body. These emotions that are coming up, we don't need to get rid of them. And in fact, getting rid of them, we can't really get rid of them by trying to make them go away. How we quote unquote get rid of them is by actually allowing them. So it's by saying, it's okay, emotion, you're allowed to be here. When we do that, the energy starts to dissipate. So if this is an experience that you felt was helpful for you today and you would like to explore it more, I'm going to be doing just that in my upcoming Feel to Heal workshop, which is going to be starting on October 19th. It's going to be 6 sessions. And so we're going to meet, we're going to go through this in a lot more depth, and you get to practice it on your own and then come back the next week and talk about what the experience was like, any challenges you had. So if you're watching this on Instagram, in the link in my bio, there'll be a link to learn more about the workshop. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's going to be a link below. And I would love for you to join me. If you have any questions, you can also contact me. And then I also just wanted to take a quick moment to talk about another group program that I have coming up the week before, starting October 11th, which is a 3-month body acceptance group coaching program. It's called Body Acceptance and Beyond. So it's an opportunity to meet weekly with others who are doing body acceptance work, to come and talk about your challenges, to receive some coaching support, and even to share anything else that might be coming up beyond that. So it's a low cost, great opportunity to be able to meet with me weekly, receive that support in community with other people. So I'll also put those links there too. So also just share in the comments if you found this exercise helpful. And thank you so much for watching. I'm glad to have guided you through this today.